Hi, I'm Chad with Move Guitar. This lesson is from our series Beginner Jazz Chords. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you minor 7, flat 5 shell voicings. First off, if you like all the chord diagrams for this series, including the diagrams for this lesson, you can download our free eGuide, Beginner Jazz Chords, by clicking the link on the screen. So I'm going to show you two ways to play minor 7 flat 5 shell voicings, and shell voicings don't include the fifth. So for minor 7 flat 5, your intervals in the chord would be root, minor 3rd, minor 7th, or root flat 3, flat 7. And shell voicings work really well when you're comping. They're used all the time in jazz and other types of music, but they're also really valuable for learning to use as a foundation for building more advanced chords and adding an extension. So if you don't know them, it's definitely worth taking the time to learn them. And if you don't know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about building chords or intervals in a chord or shell voicings, you can watch our free series, Music Theory for Guitar. Like I said, it's a free series. It's just on YouTube. I talk about everything that I just mentioned about building chords, intervals, shell voicings, and much more. So definitely be useful to you if you don't know any of that stuff that I just mentioned. So I'm going to show you two ways to play minor 7 flat 5 shell voicings. And the first way, we'll have a root on the 6th string. The second way, we'll have the root on the 5th string. So the first way with the root on the 6th string sounds like this. And that's a G minor 7 flat 5 because the lowest note is my root and the lowest note that I'm playing is a G. But all the other strings are muted out. You're only playing the notes that you're fretting, so these are movable chords. I can move them anywhere up and down the fretboard. And the lowest note will be my root, so if I know the name of the lowest note, I know the name of the chord. So if I was on A as the lowest note, that'd be an A minor 7 flat 5 and so on. And if you watched the lesson where I talked about minor 7 shell voicings, you're going to see this is the exact same chord. And that's because shell voicings don't include the 5th. And the only difference between a minor 7 and a minor 7 flat 5 is that a minor 7 has a perfect 5th and a minor 7 flat 5 has a diminished 5th. So if you take the 5 out, you have the exact same intervals, so they look like the same chord. So that means this chord could be used in a situation where you're playing a minor 7 chord, but it could also be used in a situation where you're playing a minor 7 flat 5 chord. So it serves a dual purpose, and that's really handy. So if you didn't watch the lesson where I talked about minor 7, I'll tell you how to fret this. It's with your second finger on the 6th string 3rd fret, your third finger on the 4th string 3rd fret, and your 4th finger on the 3rd string 3rd fret. That's one way to fret it, and then another way is just to switch those fingers out with your 1st, 2nd, and 3rd fingers. And it just depends what type of extensions you're going for to which one would be more useful. But this was probably a more common way to play it with your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th fingers. And this one is voiced root, minor 7, minor 3rd, or root, flat 7, flat 3. Then the one that starts on the 5th string has a 5th string root, sounds like this. And that's a C minor 7 flat 5 because the lowest note is a root and the lowest note that I'm playing is a C. And the way you fret this, there's a couple ways. One would be with your 3rd finger on the 5th string 3rd fret, your 1st finger on the 4th string 1st fret, and your 4th finger on the 3rd string 3rd fret. But a way that might be more useful but a little harder to play is with your 2nd finger on the 5th string 3rd fret, your 1st finger on the 4th string 1st fret, and your 3rd finger on the 3rd string 3rd fret. And that's because that'd be better for adding extensions. It frees your pinky up to do more. And this one is voiced root, minor 3rd, minor 7th, or root, flat 3, flat 7. So that's two ways to play minor 7 flat 5 shell voicings. If you like to learn more chords, check out the rest of the lessons in this series. And be sure to download the eGuide. Like I said, it contains all the diagrams for the lessons in this series, plus the diagrams for the chords that I just showed you. And it's free. There's no reason not to just go download it. And be sure to subscribe because we add at least one new lesson every day.